Hallo und herzlich willkommen. In today's lesson, we are going to learn about basic grammar topics. So let's get started. Los geht's! By the end of this lesson, you will learn to use personal pronouns correctly. You will form simple present tense with regular and irregular verbs. You will understand and use articles, definite and indefinite articles. Make negative statements and build some basic sentences using correct word order. Okay, so let's go. So in this slide, we are going to talk about personal pronouns, which means personal pronomen in German, in Deutsch. So in our previous video, we have already talked about these personal pronouns, but here we will say it again. So the personal pronouns are ich, du, er, sie, es, wir, ihr, sie, and sie with capital S. In English, ich means I, du means you, which is informal singular, er, sie, es means he, she, or it, wir means we, ihr means you, but informal, plural, sie means they, and z with capital S is you when you want to address somebody formally. We have two verbs, sein, which means to be, and haben, which means to have. So we use these verbs with these personal pronouns like this. Ich with bin, ich bin. With haben, ich habe. With sein, du bist. With haben, du hast. Er, sie, es with ist. Er, sie, es with hat. Wir sind. Wir haben. Ihr seid. Ihr habt. Sie sind. Sie haben. And same for sie with capital S. Sie sind and sie haben. We will see example sentences here. First is ich bin Anna. That means I am Anna. Er hat einen Apfel. Er hat einen Apfel, which means he has an apple. In this slide, we are going to learn about present tense with regular verbs. Presence, regelmäßige Verben. When we use ich, the verb that we use with ich ends with e. For example, with verb machen, when we use it with ich, the verb machen becomes mache. The pronoun du ends with st. For example, du machst. With pronoun er, sie, es, the verb ends with t. For example, er macht. With pronoun wir, the verb ends with n. For example, wir machen. With pronoun ihr, the verb ends with t. For example, ihr macht. With pronoun sie, the verb ends with en. For example, sie machen. Here we will see some examples of this. First is ich arbeite in Berlin. So because we are using ich with the verb arbeiten, we are using e. Because we are using ich, we are using the ending e with verb arbeiten. Ich arbeite in Berlin means I work in Berlin. Wir lernen Deutsch. Wir lernen Deutsch. And with we are using the ending en. So wir lernen Deutsch. We are learning German. In this slide, we are going to talk about articles. They're the thus in nominative case. In the first column, we have gender. So we have in German these genders: masculine, feminine, neuter und plural. And the definite article in nominative case is der for masculine, die for feminine, das for neuter, and die for plural. Similarly, for indefinite article, ein for masculine, eine for feminine, ein for neuter, and there is no plural form of ein. So for example, indefinite article for masculine, it will be der Tisch. And indefinite article will be ein Tisch. Die Lampe will be eine Lampe. Das Buch ist ein Buch. Die Stühle have no article. So let's see the example. Das ist ein Stuhl. Das ist ein Stuhl. Why we are using ein here is because a stool is masculine. So the definite article for stool is there, and indefinite article for stool is ein. That is why we say das ist ein Stuhl. Die Lampe ist neu. Die Lampe ist neu. Here we are using Lampe, which is feminine. So that is why we are using die Lampe. Die Lampe. Die Lampe ist neu means the lamp is new. In this slide, we are going to talk about negation. Nicht und kein. Nicht and kein. So, nicht means not. Nicht means not, and it is used for verbs, adjectives, and whole sentences. For example, ich komme nicht aus Spanien. Ich komme nicht aus Spanien. Here we are negating comma with nicht. Here we are negating this verb with nicht. Ich komme aus Spanien means I come from Spain. And when we have to negate it, we say ich komme nicht aus Spanien. That means I am not from Spain. Similarly, when we have to negate a noun, when we have to negate a noun with indefinite article, we use kein, which is masculine form, keine is feminine form, keine is feminine form, kein is neutral form. So kein, keine oder kein means no or not. For example, ich habe kein Auto. Ich habe kein Auto. That means I have no auto or I don't have an auto. If I had said I have an auto, ich habe ein Auto. And if you want to negate it, you have to say ich habe kein Auto. Ich habe kein Auto. Here we are negating auto, that is a noun with kein. Second, das ist keine Lampe. If I had said das ist eine Lampe and you want to negate it, you will say das ist keine Lampe. Lampe here is a noun, and Lampe is feminine, die Lampe. So the indefinite form of Lampe is eine Lampe, And if we want to negate it, we will say das ist kein Lampe. Okay? That is not a lamp. Now, in this slide, we will see how do we form a simple sentence in German. First is basic sentence structure. So, the basic sentence structure is formed like this. We use subject first, then verb, then object. For example, ich kaufe ein Buch. Ich kaufe ein Buch, where ich is subject, kaufe is verb, and ein Buch is object. Yes or no question. In yes or no question, we use verb first and then subject and then rest of the things. For example, kommst du aus Deutschland? Kommst du aus Deutschland? That means, do you come from Germany? So here kommst is a verb, subject is du, and then the rest of the things, aus Deutschland. Then we have W questions. W questions means word that starts with W. For example, was, welche, wie, warum. These are uh, questions that starts with letter W. So for these kind of questions, the sentence structure will be first question word, then verb, then subject. For example, wo wohnst du? Wo wohnst du means where do you live? So here, wo is the question word, wohnst is verb, and du is subject. Wo wohnst du? I have a homework for you. I'm giving you 5 verbs and you have to write 5 sentences, each with one verb. Machen, that means to make. Lernen means to learn. Haben means to have. Arbeiten means to work. And sagen means to say. Alright, this is your homework. And that is it for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions, please comment in the comment box. Thank you.